Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. And so I really want to talk about business entities today, specifically S-Corps, because it seems like there's a lot going on with S-Corps in these streets right now because I'm getting a lot of calls about them. And so I wanted to come out, and today I want to talk about really 5 mistakes. There's plenty of them, but really my top 5 with dealing with S-Corps. So number 1 is not paying for professional consultation. You know, again, as often as I do these videos, these Facebook Live videos that come 5 days a week, this is not complete information. You cannot get Google and YouTube educated when it comes down to S-Corps, because the information that you glean from the internet is only going to give you just enough information. It's not going to give you complete information, and even to help you determine if an S-Corp is right for you. So I highly encourage you to hire a professional, someone that deals with business entities, someone that can talk to you about tax implications, compliance implications. You can talk to an enrolled agent. You can talk to a CPA. You can talk to an attorney. But you have to really get some professional consultation to help you make sure that you are making the right decision for you, and not because you saw a video on YouTube, you talked to Ray at the barbershop or Susie at the hair salon, and they mentioned that, hey, an S-Corp does XYZ. That still doesn't mean that it's the right thing for you. And you need to hire a professional to consult with you and look over your entire business picture, your financial picture, to make sure that's the right thing for you. Number 2, you don't know the rules of compliance. Now, yes, with S-Corp, there are rules that you have to follow. And if you don't know the rules, then you wind up breaking those rules and it costs you money. And so when you go and form these, this S-Corp on your own, because you can absolutely do that, that doesn't mean that you have complete information. And if you don't know what the compliance is, again, that is what it's going to cost you, because not knowing will cost you. Ignorance to the law isn't an excuse when it comes down to these fines and penalties from the IRS. So, and also from the state. So it's not just that, it's the federal government. You have your state government to worry about, because, each state has their own rules governing S-Corps. There are some states that don't even recognize S-Corps. So you have to make sure, again, that not only if it's the best entity for you, but also make sure that you understand the rules that you have to follow in order to have an S-Corp. Not knowing the rules can cost you. Number 3, you become an S-Corp entirely too soon. There's no math involved. Again, you're going based on hearsay that, hey, an S-Corp is a cool thing to have because you might be able, because you will save on self-employment tax. Self-employment tax is not the only consideration when it comes down to having an S-Corp. S-Corps have compliance costs. There are different costs to the state. There are different costs, whether it's for payroll, bookkeeping. There are all sorts of other additional costs that it may not be worth it to you to become an S-Corp right away. There are other things to consider. So if there is no actual math involved in that, you sit down and look at your total household income, look at the amount of self-employment tax you're paying, comparing that to the compliance costs and all of that. These are the things that, if you don't do this math, you really have no idea if an S-Corp is right for you or not. Just, because, like I said, you watched a video or you talked to your friend and they said, go get this S-Corp. Then, there's got to be some math. This is what frustrates me, is that nobody does any math. They go and form S-Corps based off of hearsay. Number 4, the mistake to avoid is forming your S-Corp outside of your resident state. Now, I am like you. I also heard that, yes, you go and form your business entity in Delaware and Nevada because, listen to me. that for U.S. citizens, that doesn't always make sense. And it normally does not make sense, because even if you form your business in one of these other states, you still have to register as a foreign agent in your own state, and you still have to abide by the laws for that entity in your own state. So by and large, it doesn't necessarily make sense for you to file in Delaware and Nevada, because the math just doesn't add up. You wind up paying more for being a foreign entity than you do just forming the SCorp in the state in which you live, because you're going to have to pay those taxes anyway because you live there. So trying to form your SCorp in another state to try to avoid state taxes, the states are not that dumb. Okay, the state governments are not that dumb. I'm gonna need for you to know that. So you have to, if you do choose to file to form your business in another state, you better know the rules for a foreign entity operating in your state before you do that. And a lot of times you don't get that information because you go to these do-it-yourself websites and they don't tell you that stuff because it's not their job. Do-it-yourself websites, you just go there and say you want to form this business entity. They're performing their service. But had you paid for a professional consult, you might have gotten that tidbit of information before you went and formed your business in another state and caused yourself some tax problems in the state in which you live. Because guess what? You live in that state. They will come for you. So unless you plan on moving really fast, I suggest you pay for a professional consult before you become an SCorp anyway. But also, don't just go off all willy-nilly and form your SCorp in a state in which you do not reside, because you still got to abide by the laws for your home state, okay? So a lot of times that don't even make sense. All right, and number 5 is not filing your taxes. Okay. So I have gotten a few calls from people who have SCorps and have not filed their taxes in years. And I mean multiple years. And because they didn't know the rules, right? So right now, the late filing penalty for SCorps is $200 per owner per month. And I do believe it caps at 12 months, but still an additional $2,400, for late filing. Yeah, that, listen, Linda, listen, you have to file your taxes. And also, I get that, and one of the things that people have told me, that people that have not filed their taxes is, oh, well, I was told that SCorps don't pay taxes. Okay, SCorps don't pay federal taxes, but you still have to file your information return. Yes, it is a pass-through entity, and profits and losses get passed through to your personal return. But if you have not filed your SCorp taxes, if you have not prepared the entity and to figure out if you're at a profit or loss, how then do you plan to file your own personal taxes? That don't make sense. Okay, so you have to file those SCorp taxes. Oh, by the way, SCorps, you are due March 15th. This is not an April thing. Okay, March 15th is when your SCorp taxes are due. That's just as an aside. But again, that's another detail that a lot of people don't even know because you don't know the rules. We just trying to save on self-employment tax. So this is what I'm saying is that, as a business owner, your job is to make money for your business. That is your job. As far as selecting a business entity, it is not your job to know tax law. You need to know what's relevant to you, but unless you're planning to go and take a corporate tax class, then you need to hire somebody whose job it is to look at your whole financial picture to help you make a decision. Because what's going to be right for Larry is not going to be right for Jane. It may not be right for Sue. There are a lot of moving parts. You may have, two spouses in a household. One spouse has this really bossed out job that, it makes sense for someone else to become an SCorp sooner rather than later versus, there's someone else. It might be make more sense for you to become an S Corp later versus sooner? There are a lot of moving parts when it comes down to an S Corp, and it's not just, with one thing in mind. It really is a big picture. So I'm going to encourage you to get off Google, get off YouTube, book a consult. Pay to talk to people with knowledge about looking at this whole thing to determine if this S Corp thing is right for you. Because if you decide that it's not right for you, and then you revoke that S Corp election, then you can't become an S Corp again for 5 years. Whether you should become an S Corp or not. So this is why you don't want to take this decision lightly. This is why you cannot. I realize we are in this do-it-yourself society, but let me tell you, that does not work. Just because I can go buy a hammer and a drill, I can go buy, a circular saw, that does not make me a carpenter. Only thing I'm going to do is probably tear up my whole house trying to be a carpenter. Why not just go hire a carpenter? You know what I'm saying? So just because you can go and, read a book on S corporations, it doesn't mean that you have the working knowledge in order to make this decision for yourself or by yourself. This is why you have a team of people. You want to talk about wealthy people? Wealthy people have a team of people to help them make the best decisions for them. Not making that decision on their own. So listen, S Corps can land you in a lot of trouble if you are doing this incorrectly. Okay. And even still, there are a lot of other things that you can do to reduce your tax liability rather than go jumping off into an S Corp anyway. So that's why it makes sense to look at the whole picture to see what you have in place before you go and make this decision. Once you've made the decision, it's made. There's no going back and fixing it. Right? If you revoke and if you have an LLC and you decide, I'm just going to make this S election. Well, if you figure out it's not right for you, if you revoke it, guess what? You then you can't become an S Corp for 5 years. Or if you were a C corporation and you elected S Corp, then you're back to you're going to be a C corporation. So there's a lot that's going on here. And I just really want to caution you before you go making this decision to really book a paid consult, invest in a consult, because that couple $100 that you spend up front, that you invest up front for good advice is going to save you thousands on the back end over time. And so that is my advice to you. Don't make this decision on your own. Don't make this decision based on, you can watch all of my videos, you can watch everybody's YouTube videos, but none of those videos, all put together, is going to help make the right decision for you. Okay? So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, we air Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish, and you can come right here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. All right? Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.